Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. In this video I'm going to look into the altcoins in general, specifically looking at Bitcoin dominance, USD dominance against Total 3, and make sure that you don't miss this overall analysis of where we are. Are we in an altcoin season? Is there a lot more to squeeze out of this? We have a few coins that are correcting decently. It's kind of a mixed bag at the moment. If you watch my general market videos separate, you probably understand that the Nasdaq and some big Magnificent 7 are doing pretty well pre-market open in New York. And that could be helping some of them, but at the same time, there is some others that are profit taking. We are not in altcoin season according to the index. According to the index, we are sitting at 71, but we insist, we try and retry to enter the 75. So far, we do not have an ugly rejection like when you go back into 67 and then you get back into 50. That seems a lot more than this as an end. On the monthly, others against BTC is still holding pretty decently the monthly breakout, as you can see in here. The previous one was in February 2020, and from there we went into a top. Yes, this looks like a very similar pattern, but there is a big caveat. This is saying that it tops on September 2026, which is completely against the idea of a market ending in 2025 as it usually does. So for that really to play out, we require Bitcoin probably to break beyond 130K, producing a weekly breakout in a late stage, confirming that it's really going to have some upside in the first half of 2026. Not to mention that it also requires a bullish cross on the stochastic monthly RSI. Watch my BTC video to know what I'm talking about. Some decent news we have from USD against Total 3 dominance. As you can see, we've been ranging around the neckline. We haven't reclaimed the neckline, which would have been pretty bearish. We are just ranging inside this parallel channel, and we are approaching it from the top. If we break down below 21.6% and we put a close on a weekly basis, we have a first target into 19 and a second into 15. The third and most bullish target, which represents the high of the full pattern, is pointing towards around 12.5%. If we achieve the third target, guys, that could be a big altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance remains and insists with the double bottom pattern in here with the target into the resistance of 48%. Remember that Bitcoin pushing strong, let's say it goes into 125K, that also means Bitcoin dominance increasing because people will aim to rotate back into Bitcoin to catch that rally. The difference is if we get there that high and we hold it and range around those levels, that is really bullish. Next for Ethereum and then for altcoins. If we blow off top immediately, alts will first bleed, but then they will still rally. Remember the past cycle at 69 we topped. Then we have a decent correction and people started playing with the altcoins. And it was that happening around November, December, and still late December, January, February, March. Altcoins were going like massively crazy to the upside, even if Bitcoin was taking a big retracement. It's all about timing it. USDT dominance is something that we wanted to do. It's not yet confirmed, it's not that significant, but it is doing what we want, which is after the breakout to the upside and maintaining an upside in here with the USDT dominance just going sideways, is going up. That is bullish and it's not great for altcoins. So what we were hoping for is for a breakdown of the support. That's the most bullish support, but hey, we have to do some damage to USDT dominance so the altcoins can do something. Because if this persists going up, with the USDT dominance going sideways, eventually it can follow our fractal, which points towards a bear market. Ethereum is doing everything that is required for altcoin season, which is to have held in here the support at 60 and to push up. Now, if we want a cherry on top of the cake, what we really want is to close the monthly with a green engulfing candle in here, and ideally, this RSI being higher than the 64. Let's call it 65. That will be sufficient. Total 2 and Total 3 are doing pretty great. Total 2, that includes Ethereum, is in the area of the breakout, pointing towards the upside. Total 3, without including Ethereum, is getting close to the resistance. Let's keep pushing so it can catch up with what Ethereum already has done. If you never heard about the rotations of flows in the crypto market, is Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then top 10, then the rest of the coins, and then the microcap and all the meme coins. Right, we got into this chart. This chart is amazing. It belongs to Material Indicators. You can get an account with discount with the link in the description. And what I'm going to show you first is the funding rate heat map. What we see in here is a map of all the stupid altcoins. You're not going to see the names of each one of them because there's just too many, but you can hover and read each individual altcoin if you go slow enough. What we see in red is very interesting. Basically, it represents areas where the funding rate was peaking. Everybody was long like crazy, taking advantage of the upside. And we have had some periods like that. The most intense one so far in this cycle is around late February in 2024. Then around December in 2024, we also have some of that party that ended sharply on the 10th of December. After that, in this whole year, we have never had a decent amount of funding rates. So what's going on? Are we or are we not in an altcoin season? Well, what this is saying is that we are still not in any overheated state. So for those people that are disappointed that the altcoin season hasn't given that much, is because it hasn't given that much, right? We get a bit of red. You can tell that there is more red than in the period probably around March into May. That was really cold. You can also see that in the bear market, almost nothing happens. And in this end of the cycle, we got all the heated area around the tops of Bitcoin and around here. What this is telling me is that still that thing that we are hoping it happens once more and that it should be much better than this hasn't happened yet. I'm going to go into global analysis and to give you a little bit more of insights, because there's plenty of indicators in Material Indicators that track volatility, frequency rank, alts versus BTC, CVD of specifically all the altcoins at the same time, and many of these indicators can time very well exits. And you can see that around this area it got very red in terms of the beta for all the pairs to BTC. Correlation to Bitcoin also tends to peak when we are about to peak in the move up. And that's a very red sign for Bitcoin itself. Have we had any of that? Well, maybe a little bit mid-September, but definitely far, far, far away from the sort of correlation that we have mid-July, end of November in 2024, or around March in 2024. In these videos, we can continue tracking this. So if things start getting very heated, we can come back to these indicators and see what's going on. Thanks so much for watching this quick update general about altcoins. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.